We talked about creative thinking in this module. Here are some historical examples of SOF operators thinking creatively. In the winter of 1940, Germany was planning an invasion of Belgium. The Belgians had learned the lessons of the First World War and built a series of excellent fortifications to help them should Germany invade again. One of these along the Albert Canal, not far from Maastricht, was Fort Eben Emael. German planners looked at the fort and knew it was going to be difficult to take. Worse, the Germans were going to be in a hurry to take the fort because they had other objectives to be taken after Eben Emael. Time was going to be very important, so the usual way to reduce casualties, that is, apply lots of firepower in a deliberate set-piece battle, was not an option. Enter Kurt Student, German airborne commander. He suggested, well, why don't we land gliders inside the fort and reduce it from above and from the inside out? This was a creative, some might say crazy, idea. Critics ask, where are they going to land? Student responded, on the grassy area in the middle of the fort. Surely that is going to be mined, the critics said. Subsequent aerial reconnaissance revealed Belgian soldiers playing football in the grassy area, so the Germans knew it was not mined. On 10 May, German paratroopers landed inside the fort and, using shape charges, rendered the fort useless within 20 minutes. The fort simply was not designed to defend itself from above. Also in the Second World War, the Italians were trying to gain control of North Africa, and thus needed to supply Axis troops in Libya from Italy across the Mediterranean. By December 1941, the Italians were losing that fight. More supplies were being sunk than made the voyage across to North Africa. The Italian Navy needed to even the balance of naval power in the central Mediterranean. Italy needed to sink or damage some Royal Navy ships. Two of the biggest ones were HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Valiant. An Italian frogman suggested frogmen ride torpedoes into Alexandria Harbor and attack the British Royal Navy ships at their moorings. On the night of 18/19 December 1941, the Italian submarine Scire launched 3 manned torpedoes off the harbor of Alexandria. After some difficulties, all 3 succeeded in attacking the battleships, HMS Queen Elizabeth, HMS Valiant, and the tanker HMS Sagona. Queen Elizabeth and Valiant were out of action for months while repairs were made, and during that time the Italian Navy had a relatively free hand in the central Mediterranean. All 6 of the frogmen were captured. The British even pinned awards on them for their gallantry. It is important to note that landing gliders inside an enemy fort was not in compliance with Luftwaffe regulations of the day. Riding torpedoes into an enemy harbor was not in compliance with the Italian Navy regulations. SOF, to be successful, should be in the business of breaking the rules. Not all creative thinking in SOF is related to infiltration techniques. In Bosnia, a person indicted for war crimes, or PIFWIC, was known to be in a certain area. He was also known to travel with a personal security detachment, or PSD. An American SOF unit was tasked to apprehend the PIFWIC for trial. To accomplish this, the SOF unit needed the PIFWIC and the PSD to stop on the road, even if just momentarily. Eventually, the team developed a technique for getting the PSD to stop on the road, having a guy in a gorilla suit walking on the side of the road. A crazy idea, but it might work. The unit found a gorilla suit, put a guy in it, and waited. Sure enough, the PSD, upon seeing a guy in a gorilla suit, stopped on the road. The SOF unit rendered them ineffective and grabbed the PIFWIC. Another example that does not involve infill techniques was from Haiti. In the town of Jacmel, an American Special Forces team was living and working with the Forces Armées d'Haïti, or FAD. The villagers brought an old woman to the SF team and said she was a witch and had cast a spell on 2 boys in the town. The 2 boys were brought forward and seemed to be in a trance. They would not respond to verbal commands or answer questions. They just stared at the ground. The people wanted to execute the so-called witch, but wanted the SOF unit to approve. An American warrant officer heard the story and was trying to think of a way to pacify the townspeople but not execute the witch. The warrant officer went to his bedroom, found a chem light, broke it, making the liquid light up, and then cut the end off the chem light and sprinkled the chem light liquid on the little boys. Instantly, the boys started smiling and showing off to the crowd that they were glowing. Obviously healed, the crowd no longer demanded the execution of the witch. The warrant officer admonished the witch to stop casting spells on little boys. The obviously relieved woman agreed to not cast spells on people anymore. The townspeople were happy, the boys were cured, and the witch was not executed. All because of the fast thinking of a SOF warrant officer. The important point is to free up those who think creatively to apply that creativity to your SOTU's operations. You want the oddball to feel like he is able to present his idea even if you do not end up adopting that idea. The hard part is getting the creative idea on the table. If you crush the guy in front of his peers and then call his idea stupid, he will wait a long time before he speaks up again.